Hello folks, it's Mel. I'm back again with a short video for you. So in the last video we looked at just playing the strings one by one. We were looking at this right hand picking, and we looked at a little bit of muting with this hand as well, which is important when you're playing with a lot of gain on. It's not so important if you haven't got gain on, you're playing with a more cleaner tool. It's not as important, but the more gain you've got on, the louder you're playing, the louder your amp is, or the more high output your pickups are. Or if you're using a distortion pedal and you've got a lot of overdrive on, it's important to be able to mute the strings. So we looked at muting with the edge of the right hand, so just like that. We're going to look at muting with this left hand. So let's say we've got this low A note on the low E string, 5th fret, and we just want to play that, and we're doing some kind of... Now we could do it like that and just be really careful where we pick, but even then, if I leave that ringing out, you can hear the other harmonics from the strings coming into play, and we don't want that. We just want to hear that A note. So we could try and use the underside of the finger, but again, if you've got a lot of gain and distortion on, you're going to get a lot of harmonics. So playing that, muting that 5th string with the underside of the finger, you're going to get that harmonic. So you can hear that harmonic under that A note, and if that's what you're going for, that might be an effect you want, which is great. But if you just want the A note and the harmonics from this note, then the best thing to do is, as if you're doing a barcode, mute the strings with this finger and the underside of that finger. The reason being we're using 2 fingers to mute is, again, we just use this one finger, we're going to get, we could get those harmonics ringing out. So we're going to use this finger, and you can use these as well. The more fingers you use to dampen the strings, the more difficult it is, because the natural tendency is to press all the fingers down, which is not what we want. So we want to just lightly lay that finger across there, and then now it doesn't matter if I hit the A and D strings. I'm just getting a chug rather than a note. That's a good way to mute strings when you've got a lot of distortion on. And of course, the best thing to do is to combine left hand and right hand muting if you can. It just gives you an extra sort of safety net. So that's a good way of muting strings. And then another thing we can do, this is common with a lot of guitar players. Van Halen used to do it a lot, Gary Moore, plenty of players. where they actually do something like this. Now, I didn't just play that note there, I didn't just go. You can hear the difference, because what I'm doing there is I'm raking across the strings before I pick that note out, and then I'm muting the strings behind it. It just gives you a bit more expression. So that's another great little trick. Rake across the strings before you pick a single note out. And of course, keep using that palm muting. So this only really becomes important when you start playing lead guitar, but it's a good idea to practice this early on from the beginning, because it is quite a difficult thing to do when you first start doing it. And the more gain, the more volume you've got on an amplifier or your effects pedal or whatever, the more you're going to suffer with string noise. So when you're just trying to play a single note, if you catch another string, sometimes you don't even have to catch the other string. See, I just hit that one string there, but eventually all the other strings start to resonate sympathetically with that string. So practice that muting as if you're playing a bar chord, and just practice playing a single note on the low E string, and then do the same on the other strings. So that's muting with the left hand as well as the right hand. Just a short one for you today. So I'll try and get another video up next week. What I might do next week is, because I was actually going to use my new pink Charvel for this video, but I broke a string just as I was warming up. So I bought a brass block for that Charvel, which I wasn't going to fit, but seeing as I'm taking all the strings off and restringing it anyway, I might fit that brass block. That's if it fits. I'm hoping it will. And I'll show you how to set the Floyd Rose up again. Always worth going over this once in a while. I have done videos before about setting up a Floyd Rose after you've taken all the strings off, but I'll do that again for you next week if I can. If not, it'll be the week after. But anyway, that's all from me today. Please subscribe to the channel if you like these videos. If you just enjoy watching them, leave me a like, a comment, ask me a question, all of that stuff. But until the next one, look after yourselves and bye for now.